The National Water Commission has been a very long, strong and consistent supporter of the Water Stewardship Australia concept. And their files and archives are very good. So I went back to them and said, well, what was it about the concept that actually got the NWC both excited and committed for the long term? And so, you know, under their just grant sort of stuff, they went, oh yeah, it's consistent with the National Water Initiative, which of course it is, but the objectives of really setting standards and verifying compliance and developing a brand around best practice water use is truly aligned with NWI in, you know, improving environmental management, improving water use efficiency. But for the NWC, it offered a little more. And I was able to find Ken Matthews, the inaugural chair and CEO of the Commission, who I think came to the second forum in July 2007 and gave 9 reasons as to why the NWC liked the concept and wanted to see it developed. So I won't give you all 9, but a couple of them are really fundamental. Firstly, the concept builds good management into commercial operations, and that promulgates through the economy and provides longevity to the concept. It engages the private sector in improved water management because too often it's the business of government or government authorities. This last one, or second last one, I think when I read it I thought the man is prescient. Clearly, you know, a bureaucrat of some degree of real skill. Water stewardship has the capacity to decentralise water management efforts, and in decentralising, again embeds it and gives it longevity. And then finally, that the concept would be nested within the broader natural resource management, catchment management concepts. So he had 9 reasons why he wanted to see it developed. And I think looking at how it has developed since 2007, all of those 9 reasons are still valid, and then NWC would look back and go, that was a really good investment on our part. That is something that as an investor we can be proud of. So since then, as Michael just said, we've seen it come, the concept's progressed, it's moved to, there is international water stewardship standards, there are training packages, and you're on the threshold of actually starting to audit and accredit things. So since 2007, an amazing amount has happened in this area. If you look a little bit more nationally, what's happened since 2007, you know, the nadir of the millennium drought, when water was on the top of everybody's mind and on lips and barbecues and all of that. More nationally, there's been really significant change. If we look at what has happened since then, across the face of Australia, the water sector has changed. We've had major augmentations in every big city. We had all the controversy of the Basin Plan, but it's settled. And states are rolling out really large irrigation modernisation projects as a result of the investment in that to recover the water. So the face of all the major water users are changing as a result of that drought and the work that happened and the reform that happened. What we find ourselves dealing in now is dealing with the aftermath. There was a return to wet, the crisis passed, the action had been taken, and you're left now with a lull and the general grumpiness that happens after that. So think about it. You've got communities a bit sick of reform. You've got pricing that's reflecting the past reform. You've got governments now moving to other priorities, and we see that. We see that with the abolition of the National Water Commission. But in October, before we actually sort of, and we haven't quite passed yet, I haven't checked my, it was being debated in the Senate today, so I could, you know, it could be abolished, but it might not be. It's really at the cross benches and who knows. But in October, the NWC released its last triennial assessment, the performance of the states and the Commonwealth against the NWI. And basically we found that there had been good progress, seriously good progress, and that there had been really serious economic and environmental and social benefits as a result of that reform. And in fact, if we look back, maintaining the level of production we were able to do throughout the drought would not have been possible without the reforms undertaken under COAG and the NWI. So it's been really good, but then looking forward, we actually see some risks. People take it for granted now. It's embedded. And the problem with that is if people don't understand it, they can dismantle it without actually understanding what they're doing. So we're at a crossroads, and the crossroads are this. We need to consolidate the reform and not have any backsliding, not even on little parts of it. Now, with the Commission going and the federal government changing its priorities to other things, there is, if you like, a lack of leadership at the federal level. Now, this is a lull. Water cycle goes in ups and downs. There's droughts and there's cycles. And generally, when there is a lull, other people have to fill that leadership void. And so the National Water Commission is looking to the private sector, to state governments to start to step up, to actually take that leadership role, and in the absence of leadership at a federal level, create it themselves. So groups like this, Water Stewardship Australia, with its role in really embedding work within the private sector, in the agricultural and mining, the industrial sectors, that is one of the greatest examples of how this can happen. And so whilst we might be vacating the field, we're really pleased to see groups like this coming through the drought, having achieved the objectives, really ready to take off, because it's groups like these that actually now will start to provide the leadership and start to provide the pressures for the next wave of reform. So we were really happy to see the progress of this project, and we're really happy it's at the stage that it's at. So we congratulate you.